When building your design using the PAN security appliance, use the following steps as a guideline before you begin configuring your firewall. First, you need to determine your network topology and how the PAN appliance will be deployed. Will it be connected directly into the internet cloud or inline between different internal networks? The most common case for the PAN topology is connecting it directly into the internet and to your internal LAN or data center network. This is what our design is based on. With the topology, you can determine the PAN deployment mode, which can be one of the following, which is Layer 3 mode, Layer 2 mode, and the virtual wire mode, also called transparent mode. Layer 3 mode means that you want the PAN to act as a Layer 3 device to do routing and NAT functions. This is the mode that we are using and is the most common out of the three here. The other is a Layer 2 mode, and that means that you're placing the PAN in line between other Layer 2 devices, like switches, that may be configured for VLAN and trunking. This will treat the PAN like another Layer 2 switch on the network. But in this mode, you cannot do any NAT or IP routing. And we have the virtual wire mode, and this means that we can place the PAN in line between different devices or networks without any readdress required on those hosts. Now this is almost similar to Layer 2 mode, but this also works for pure Layer 3 environments. And just like Layer 2 mode, you cannot do any routing or NAT functions to a virtual wire mode enabled on the PAN appliance. Therefore, from these three modes, determine the best option that would apply for your design. For our design, it will be based on the Layer 3 deployment mode. Next, you need to define all the networks that will be used on your network. In our design, we will have a user, a server farm, a guest, a management, an interconnection, a VPN, and our public WAN network. Once you have defined your networks, you can determine the different security zones you will have. A security zone is like a group of devices or networks that we want to protect. This is important for enforcing security policies between different networks or different zones. The default zones on the PAN appliance is trust and untrust. A trust zone are networks that we trust and we want to protect. Our LAN and data center will be considered as trusted networks. And a untrust zone will be the opposite, which are networks or devices we do not trust, which would be the internet itself. In our design, we will configure 4 different zones completed in different videos. We will have our untrusted zone, which we will call RH WAN, that will include our public subnet. RH is our company name, Route Hub. Our trust zone, which we will call RH LAN, will consist of our user, server, and interconnection networks. We will have a guest zone containing our guest network, and we will have a VPN zone that will consist of VPN clients and our site VPN tunnels. Therefore, determine the zones that your networks will be included in for reference. Next, determine the different features and services that you will be running on your PAN appliance. Below are some of the common features that you can run, like SSL decryption, URL filtering, VPN, to even threat prevention. Now our design will include many of these features and services listed here that we will configure in different video topics. With the features and services determined that you want to implement, it's important to obtain all of the necessary licenses for your PAN appliance. And below is a summary of the different licensing that may be required. So these are the licensing type and basically the services that require this particular license. For example, if you want to implement antivirus and be up to date with all the signatures that are out there, you need to purchase the threat prevention license on your PAN appliance. Another design step would include what your internal and external routing will be. Internal routing pertains to routing to networks within your internal LAN, data center, WAN, and VPN. This can be static routes or a dynamic routing protocol like RIP or OSPF. External routing is for routing to the internet itself. This could be a static route or BGP routing with the upstream provider. Our internal routing will involve configuring OSPF, And our external routing will initially begin with a default static route. And for now, that is it. So use that information to build your network diagram prior to configuring your PAN appliance. And we are finished. But this video series will cover many of the basic to advanced features that we talked about in this presentation that you can configure on your PAN firewall appliance, which is outlined on the download page. So with that being said, continue to the practical videos that we have available in this training package.